Welcome to the Blessors of Israel Podcast. I'm Matthew Dodd, Executive Director of Blessors of Israel. Greetings from the Western Wall in Jerusalem, a place of great significance for the Jewish faith. Here we have the westernmost part of the temple, a sacred spot. In fact, it's also called the Wailing Wall because when the Jews retook Jerusalem in 1967, they had been forbidden because it was belonging to Jordan. They were then able to have access to the wall again to pray and to worship. And as a result, there were many tears on that day when the Jews were able to return to the Western Wall. So it's been a blessed time here. When you walk through the streets of Jerusalem, obviously they're very empty. No tourism here whatsoever. I visited several sites without any problem getting in and out, including this area as well. To my left, there are celebrations, young Jewish men coming of age, bar mitzvahs that are being celebrated. So that's a wonderful thing to experience and to listen to the celebration that's taking place. Now, outside of the old city, there have been protests continuing. Many are concerned about Israel re-engaging with Hamas in Gaza. They want an end to the war. They want a return of the hostages, more importantly. So protests continue. In fact, I was talking with an individual yesterday, and I told him I was planning on walking from the hotel down to the old city about 3.5 kilometers. He said, be careful, there's protests, and you don't want to get caught up in the protests. He even said there's a WhatsApp that you can follow that will tell you where to avoid the protests. So far I haven't seen any protests on my way here. Perhaps on my way back to the hotel I will. But I just want you to be aware of what's going on here. It's important to realize also that when Jesus Christ comes back again, he's going to establish his kingdom here in Jerusalem, and he will reign for 1,000 years, we are told, according to the book of Revelation chapter 20. What a glorious thing that the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords is going to reign, and that he's going to reign over the earth, and his kingdom will be a righteous kingdom. It'll be a glorious kingdom, and it will have no end. And oh, how I pray that many will come to saving faith in Jesus Christ, that they will enter in to his kingdom and enjoy his leadership for 1,000 years. Now, after that, we're also told that there will be a new heavens and a new earth. Because of the corruption brought on by Adam and Eve's sin, there needs to be a new heavens and a new earth. And so God will then establish his glorious reign in a new heavens and a new earth. In fact, there will be no sun or moon because the Lord's glory will be our light. What an amazing time that will be. But until that time, we see that God is preparing the landscape for the return of Jesus Christ. And in many ways, what we see going on right now in the Middle East concerning Israel, I believe you see a geopolitical shaping of the landscape in preparation for what we see in Ezekiel 38 and 39, the battle of Gog and Magog. The destruction of alliances between Russia and Iran. For instance, Russia is showing, and so is China, their support for Iran having a nuclear program. These are very concerning times. Then you have the United States and Israel saying, no, Iran must never have a nuclear program. So we are seeing something very strategic, dynamic that's taking place, and I believe is setting the stage for the return of Jesus Christ ultimately, and the establishment of his kingdom now and forevermore. And it's incumbent upon us Christians to be sharing the good news of Jesus Christ. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except by him. And so please stand with me in your prayers, and thank you so much for joining me today and watching this podcast. And by the way, if you're watching for the very first time, I want to personally encourage you to visit our website. Visit our website by going to www.blessors.org. That's blessors with an ors.org. There you will see curated news concerning Israel and the Middle East. You'll also see original articles with biblical commentary as well, and you'll see our vision and mission statement. I want you to be informed about why we do what we do, how God has raised up Blessors of Israel for such a time as this, to spread the good news of Jesus Christ, but also equip the church about the importance of standing with Israel in the latter days. I'd like to make sure you also like this podcast, and if you haven't done so, subscribe to our podcast. Make comments on the podcast as well. There have been times where we're seeing YouTube suppressing our podcast, and so we need to break through that suppression, because I believe God wants to use Blessors of Israel to shape and change lives both now and forevermore. Make sure you also follow us on Facebook, Getter, and X, and we also covet your prayers and your financial partnership as we build this new and important ministry. Remember, those who bless Israel will be blessed. Shalom, shalom.